World War I, also known as the Great War, was a conflict of unprecedented scale that fundamentally altered the course of the 20th century. Its origins are complex, involving a tangled web of alliances, militaristic ambitions, and nationalistic fervor. To understand how World War I started, it's essential to explore the multiple factors that contributed to its outbreak. In this video, we will explore the major causes of the war, including imperialism, nationalism, militarism, alliances, and the immediate events that precipitated the conflict. Let's start off with the system of alliances and how they brought about the war. One of the most significant factors leading to World War I was the system of alliances that had developed among the major European powers. By the early 20th century, Europe was divided into two main alliance systems. The Triple Entete, comprised of France, Russia, and the United Kingdom. This alliance was formed in response to the growing power and influence of the Triple Alliance. The Triple Alliance included Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. This alliance aimed to counterbalance the influence of the Entente powers. These alliances were initially intended to provide security and deter aggression. However, they also created a situation where a conflict between any two countries could rapidly escalate into a wider war. For example, if one member of the Triple Entente was attacked, the other members were obligated to come to their aid, and the same applied to the Triple Alliance. Arms race. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw an intense arms race, particularly between Britain and Germany. Germany's rapid industrialization and naval expansion threatened Britain's traditional naval supremacy, leading to an arms race that saw both nations heavily invest in military technology and naval vessels. The military strategies of the major powers were heavily influenced by their planning for a large-scale war. For example, Germany's Schlieffen Plan was aimed to quickly defeat France and then turn east to fight Russia. Similarly, France's Plan 17 focused on rapid mobilization and an aggressive push into Germany. These pre-planned strategies made the prospect of a large-scale war seem inevitable and encouraged a more confrontational stance among the powers. And then there was militarism, or the belief in the maintenance of a strong military capability and the readiness to use it aggressively to defend or promote national interests. It was another crucial factor leading to the outbreak of World War I. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European nations were heavily invested in expanding their military forces and developing advanced weaponry. The arms race primarily involved Germany and Britain, who competed to build the largest and most advanced navies. This competition not only increased tensions between these two powers, but also created a general atmosphere of mistrust and fear throughout Europe. The idea of using military force as a means of solving international disputes became more normalized, and many leaders believed that a swift, decisive war could resolve their nation's problems. And then we had nationalism to deal with. Nationalism, a powerful force in 19th and early 20th century, contributed significantly to the outbreak of World War I. Nationalism is the ideology that emphasizes the interests and culture of one's nation, often at the expense of others. It fueled rivalries between nations and led to conflicts within multi-ethnic empires. In the Austro-Hungarian Empire, for instance, nationalist sentiments among various ethnic groups such as Serbs, Croats, Czechs contributed to internal instability. The desire for independence among these groups often clashed with the empire's efforts to maintain its territorial integrity. Similarly, in the Balkans, nationalist movements sought to challenge the influence of the Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires. The region became a hot spot for nationalist agitation and was often referred to as the powder keg of Europe. This volatility was exacerbated by the interference of major powers, which supported various nationalist factions to further their own strategic interests. The Balkan Wars from 1912 to 1913 were a series of conflicts that significantly destabilized the region and set the stage for World War I. The Balkan Wars, 1912-1913, were a series of conflicts that significantly destabilized the region and set the stage for World War I. The wars involved the Balkan League, Serbia, Montenegro, Greece, and Bulgaria, fighting against the Ottoman Empire to gain territories in the Balkans. The subsequent wars among the Balkan League members over the spoils of victory further intensified regional tensions. The aftermath of the Balkan Wars left Austria-Hungary and Russia at odds over influence in the region. Austria-Hungary was particularly alarmed by the rise of Serbia as a regional power and its support for Slavic nationalism, which threatened the stability of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Conversely, Russia saw itself as the protector of Slavic peoples and sought to counterbalance Austria-Hungary's influence. Then, the final nail, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The immediate cause of World War I was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria on June 28, 1914. Franz Ferdinand was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his assassination in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist, provided the spark that ignited the already tense situation in Europe. The assassination was a direct result of the nationalist fervor in the Balkans and the ongoing conflict between Serbia and Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary saw the assassination as an opportunity to crush Serbian nationalism and issued an ultimatum to Serbia, demanding a series of stringent measures. Serbia's acceptance of most but not all of the demands was not enough for Austria-Hungary. And then there was the domino effect. Austria-Hungary's decision to declare war on Serbia on July 28, 1914 set off a chain reaction due to the existing alliance systems. Russia, bound by its alliance with Serbia, began mobilizing its forces. Germany, allied with Austria-Hungary, saw Russia's mobilization as an act of war and declared war on Russia on August 1, 1914. France, allied with Russia, was then drawn into the conflict when Germany declared war on France on August 3, 1914. Germany's invasion of Belgium, which was neutral, brought the United Kingdom into the war due to its commitment to defending Belgian neutrality. Within a few days, what was initially a localized conflict had expanded into a full-scale war involving most of the major powers of Europe. The competition for colonies and global dominance also contributed to the tensions leading up to World War I. The major powers of Europe were engaged in a scramble for overseas territories, leading to conflicts and rivalries. European powers competed fiercely for colonies in Africa and Asia. Conflicts over territories such as those between Britain and France in Africa created friction and heightened national rivalries. Germany's late entry into the colonial scramble led to tensions with established colonial powers, further exacerbating the sense of competition. Economic interests, the quest for economic resources and markets also played a role. Industrialized nations sought to expand their influence and control over areas rich in resources, leading to conflicts over trade routes and territorial control. Now let's go over briefly the war's outbreak and its consequences. The outbreak of World War I led to a conflict of unprecedented scale, involving many of the world's nations and resulting in massive casualties and significant political changes. The war's consequences included the collapse of several empires: Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, Russian, and German. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended the war but also laid the groundwork for future conflicts, including World War II. In conclusion, World War I was the result of a combination of complex factors, including the intricate system of alliances, the arms race, nationalist tensions, and specific events like the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. These elements intertwined in such a way that a regional conflict quickly escalated into a global war. The lessons learned from World War I shaped international relations and the global order for decades to come.